Hey, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's well. Good morning, afternoon, good evening to everybody. All right, so today's episode, uh, I just came across this video where people were saying that Drake has 37 billion fake streams, allegedly. So I don't know if this is actually true or not, but I want to watch this and talk about it because if this is true, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think they're systematically taking out Drake. Like, I think that that lawsuit, him, this downfall of him is I never seen anything like this in music history, or any type of industry. I never seen anybody take a fall like this guy's taking a fall, and he's lucky that they're not doing a smear campaign. And some people might say this is a smear campaign, but I guess they're doing it in a way where they can still make money and destroy him in the process. Like, okay. So before I get into that legendary spill, this is Torch Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell them much, but soon. But I will drop content. So if you like what you hear, I don't sell them merch, but I do have content. They call me the Hidden Gem. 1,300 subscribers, over 19,000. And yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you are from. Also, too, if you want to support the channel, right here, the Cash App is right on the page, and all that good stuff, man. Go subscribe to Torch Talk After Hours too. I do have merch. I'm working on the shop right now. I did show people the shop, but it's too buggy right now, and I can't release it. So I'm going to be working on that. If I have to go a different route, I will. But it will be happening very, very soon. You know what I mean? Let's just say that. So, all right. So let's get to it, man. Let's do it. All right. It's come courtesy of Jalopy. Shout out to him. They try to systematically destroy him too, but I guess it didn't work. So let's keep it going.
Well, we're here, bruh. We are officially here. We've been talking about this. And see, it's one thing to have an idea about what's going on, but to officially see it on paper, we got a lot to talk about. First, we got to do some reading. After that, we got a lot to talk about, bro. Check this out. There's a lawsuit against Spotify that claims billions of Dre streams were fraudulent. Billions.
Bro, bro, if this is true, if this is true, all of those diamond records that people were bragging about, if this is true, if this is true, I'm gonna go out on a limb, man, and I'm gonna say, I think half of it is true. I'm just gonna say that. I don't think that. I think maybe half was fake. I don't think all of them was fake. I do believe that a lot of artists, um, such as Drake, are being heavily pushed by the industry now. People will say, "Well, the industry is using fake streams to push them." Okay, that can be an argument for you, but for me, I don't know if I can say without them being caught. I don't know if I can go with 37 billion if they weren't caught. I mean, maybe they're caught now, but before it. So I don't know. But let's keep it going.
Billions, bruh. A new class action lawsuit against Spotify alleges the company has turned a blind eye to mass scale fraudulent streaming on its platform, and that one musician in particular has been the beneficiary of billions of fake streams. Drake. we have all figured, right? And people will call you crazy, people, all this different type of stuff, that obviously Drake had been saying that Kendrick was botting, right? Because this was a rebuttal to what Kendrick was saying in 616 in LA when it comes to you playing dirty with Zach B and Twitter bots. So he's deflecting the narrative, right? But after he deflected it, he actually started to push propaganda and even use the acts of J. Cole and all that different stuff to push this propaganda. And I'm not saying he intentionally used J. Cole, but J. Cole helped further this propaganda. And then me.
That's true. That's true. J. Cole definitely did say something about that. He definitely did that. You can't hide it. You can't lie about it. He definitely did. He definitely did. So the whole thing with Drake using fraudulent streams, the problem I find with Drake is such a narcissist that he thinks that maybe he didn't know. Let's just say that. But if he did know, he probably thought that he was so secure in his spot that he wasn't. He's like that villain in the movie that thinks he's getting away with everything, and the whole time he's being exposed. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man.
The outlets all over the place started pushing that propaganda. Next thing you know, it landed on Doechii. But so that makes me very curious as to how everybody's going to talk about this. How is everybody going to cover this? I'm talking about like the major podcasts, like the Joe Budden podcast, Rory and Mal, all these different hip hop podcasts, radio shows. How are they going to cover this?
What I keep telling y'all, man, hip hop media is terrible for hip hop. I'm telling, maybe Joe, I will say maybe Joe, but everybody else is going to find a flaw or something and say, bro, this isn't true. This is a lie. Yo, they're trying to destroy it. It's actually UMG who's doing this. They're trying to take him out, bro, because his deal. They don't want to give. They're trying to give him 100 million now, and they was trying to. He wanted 500, 600, and they said no. You got caught for fake streams, so no, we only can give you 90 million now. They trying to devalue him, bro. That's what it is. The whole lawsuit, everything, man. They're trying to kill. They're trying to get him out of here. Like that's what they're gonna be saying. That's what they're gonna be saying, man. I'm telling you, that's what they're gonna be saying. Because they can't be honest. Hip hop media cannot be honest because some of them are being paid by these companies to promote either propaganda or to promote a positivity of their artist, even though their artist isn't good. That's what it is. Or if they're not being directly paid, they have friends that work in these industries that they can't really speak on or speak their mind on. You know? But they're not gonna cover it. They're not gonna do a good job. I'm telling you. They're going to dance around it, and they're gonna do what they usually do. They're not gonna directly say, damn, Drake, you really like, because if it comes out if he loses this, if Spotify loses this, they're gonna blame Spotify. They're gonna be like, well, nah, Spotify did this so they can make more money off of Drake's name. That's what they're gonna do.
The suit was filed in California District Court on Sunday night with rapper and cousin of Snoop Dogg, RBX, named as the lead plaintiff. While the most eye-popping allegations in the suit relate to Drake's streaming numbers, there are no specific accusations of wrongdoing against the Nokia rapper. Only Spotify is named as a defendant. Every month under Spotify's watchful eye, billions of fraudulent streams are generated from fake, illegitimate, and or illegal methods like bots, the lawsuit states. Such mass scale streaming fraud, it continues, causes massive financial harm to legitimate artists, songwriters, producers, and other rights holders. And I'm not gonna lie. We'll save that. Let's keep reading. Streaming royalties are paid out through, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna say it. This actually paints a completely different picture for the way things took place, especially after, I want to say, 2016, like when he really started leaning into the pop stuff. The financial harm that he might have been doing to the ecosystem in general, right? When he's using these bots, this could have created more incentive in a battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And it actually holds, that battle holds a lot more weight. When Kendrick Lamar says, um, what do you say? Just walk that man down. That'll do everyone a solid. Like, this makes sense. Streaming royalties are paid out through a stream share model where subscription and ad dollars are put into a giant pool with the money divvied up based on each artist's share of the total streams. Most of that money already flows upstream to the most successful artists and biggest rights holders. In this type of share pool model, fake streams hurt other artists whose shares aren't inflated. Spotify representatives for Drake did not immediately respond to a request for comment. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't know that it put it into a pool. I didn't know that. I that's like that's like I mean correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that like when you work at a restaurant, you a waitress or and you get tips and you got to put it in the pool and you might have 10 people at your table and you get $100 each tip, but you got to share with everybody. But in this case, it would be Drake would be. It's kind of like with steak, but Drake would be the waitress or the waitress. Sorry, the waiter. Drake would be the waiter. You know what I'm saying? And he'd have his own people come in to give him tips. You know what I'm saying? Like hundreds of people come in and give him tips. And since he gets the most from his people, they kind of like got to give him the majority of the tips, if that makes sense. That's how kind of how it is. I'm thinking that's how it goes with Spotify.
So, yeah, they basically rigging the game. You try to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. Like it all, like, bro, it's all tying in. You feel what I'm saying? While the lawsuit suggests that use of bots is widespread on Spotify, the only example it cites pertains to Drake. It claims voluminous voluminous information, which Spotify knows or should know, proves that a substantial non-trivial percentage of Drake's approximately 37 billion streams were inauthentic and appeared to be the work of a sprawling network of bot accounts. 37 billion?
Yeah, that's insane, bro. If they take all of those streams away, bro, he's done, bro. He's done either way. But if they take those streams away, all his plaques are gone, bro. You talking like those diamond plaques that those 11, I believe he has 11 diamond plaques. They're all gone, bro. Gone. You know what I'm saying? They're gone. I would figure that. Then again, they might not be gone because they might not be gone. They might not be. Some of them, but not all of them. But that's a lot. 37 billion is a lot. I think he gets. I think so. I believe there he has 13, and I think it's every one of them songs 10 billion, over 10 billion streams or something like that. Something like that. I'm not sure about that. So you figure if it's over 10 billion, that would be only three. That would be about four. You know what I'm saying? Four his joints would be gone. Something like that. I'm not sure. But
37 billion illegal streams. Drake had approximately 37 billion illegal streams. Hold on, man. Hold on, bro. Time out. So you telling me Drake has been saying everybody be using these bots. Drake has been accusing Kendrick of using the bots, etc. But Drake has approximately 37 billion inauthentic streams? Not only has Drake been using bots, it seems like the majority of the streams that Drake has gotten in recent memory have been inauthentic. 37 billion?
And I gotta say this. This is another L for Drake, but not the way y'all think. This is an L for him because he was the one. If this comes out to be true, you just shot yourself in the foot because you were the one who made people start looking at this stuff. You was the one that did that. You was the one that made everybody start looking. Now everybody's looking. And what happened? Now they're saying, wait a minute, dog. You did it even worse than everybody. But people have been saying this. Even UMG said, yeah, Drake's practices is the same. I can't believe that he's out here saying this when he does these things too. So it's like, what? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? What? It's this is insane, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
37 billion. This is crazy, bro. This is insane. Bro, is that it? No, there's more. This allegedly fraudulent activity took place between January 2022 and September 2025. According to the complaint, it claims an examination of Drake's streams revealed abnormal VPN usage had obscured the location of the bot account streaming Drake's songs. For instance, the lawsuit claims that over a 4-day period in 2024, at least 250,000 streams of his song No Face originated in Turkey but were falsely geomapped through the coordinated use of VPNs to the United Kingdom in an attempt to obscure the origins. Bro.
Bro. That's crazy. Damn. I mean, you gotta look at it from this point of view. This is just Spotify. If they was to look into other things too, because you really can't. I'm hearing that you really can't bot Apple like that because they do a little bit differently. That's what I'm hearing. Not sure about that, but as far as what's name goes, all the other outlets, yeah, man, it might be something different. So you figure if all the other outlets is looking into this, if they're looking into this with the other outlets and not just Spotify, like Google Play, YouTube, stuff like that. Oh man, damn, bro, this is crazy as hell,
Bro. Bro. Nah, this is crazy. So hold on. You telling me Drake been getting his streams from Turkey? And that doesn't mean that nobody else is doing this, but apparently Drake is the main guy. I mean, they really mentioning Drake in this lawsuit.
My thing is like I'm with him on this. How is they going to navigate around this talking about like the podcast world of hip hop? How they going to navigate around this one? Because this, if this is an actual lawsuit and they mentioning Drake's name as the top person with the most fake streams, I'm so curious. I can't wait to do a video about what they're saying. I can't wait because I want to just see how they try to like just go around it or try to act downplay it. Oh, well, you gotta understand, Drake got many lawsuits, man. It's not just that. Everybody want the boy out of here. Like I can't wait, bro.
250,000 streams for his song No Face were botted. And they were falsely geomapped through the coordinated use of VPNs to obscure the origins. 250,000 botted streams on No Face. We've been saying that Drake been botting these streams on these new songs. That's the only thing that makes sense. To find out that a song as recent as No Face? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what, for the people that's been talking about bots with Doji, bots with Kendrick, how are y'all gonna talk about this? I gotta know. I gotta know, bro. I gotta know. The lawsuit also alleges that a large percentage of accounts streaming Drake's music were geographically concentrated around areas whose population cannot support such a high volume of streams. No exact places or numbers.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. So if you're getting, if it's only 30 people in a room and you're getting 700, what is it, 700,000 streams and it's only 30 people, I know that's kind of an exaggeration, but that's kind of how it seems. That's crazy as hell, like for real.
Were given, though the suit claimed that some streams reportedly originated in areas with zero residential addresses. Interesting. The lawsuit also cites significant and irregular uptick months for Drake's songs long after they've been released, as well as slower and less dramatic decay rates for Drake's music compared to his contemporaries. Exactly. So when people are on Twitter, right, on social media saying, well, Drake has been sitting at 81 million monthly listeners for how long? Drake has been sitting at 81 million for how long? And Kendrick keeps going down. Well, that's because there you go. There you go, buddy. It's right there in your face. It's right.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, people don't understand how things work. They think that a lot of the monthly listeners, it stays like that. All right, so let's use the Weeknd as an example. I'm always using the Weeknd as an example. He's a perfect example of this. He was number one for a long time. But the thing about the Weeknd is his music is heavily played. Heavily. And he has music that's been played from years ago that's still being played. So his monthly listeners go up because he has a lot of replay value on his music, like a whole lot of replay value. Like you hear Blinding Lights, like that, you realize that song came out, I believe, almost like 5 years ago. It came out during COVID. You know what I'm saying? Damn, y'all remember COVID? Damn, yo, those was bad times. Oh man, I'm so happy we out of that, man. Oh man. Damn. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just forget just forget I even said COVID. Forget it. Oh my God. Bro. Woo. Damn. Those are probably the most horrible years of my life. Anyway, so it fluctuates. Monthly listeners go up and down. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens. But people, it seem like because Drake stayed at a certain spot. That no, that's because they whatever they were doing behind the scenes, they did it to maintain that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
There in your face. Drake fans been holding this monthly listener stuff over people's heads for I don't know how long, talking about Drake's monthly listener stays at 81 million and it never changes. Why does Kendrick and Doechie's change? Well, now you know. The lawsuit also states significant and irregular uptick months for Drake's songs long after they've been released, as well as slower and less dramatic decay rates for Drake's music compared to his contemporaries. It was all propaganda. It was all propaganda the whole time. It was all propaganda. Okay? The lawsuit further claims that the number of streams of Drake's music attributable to individual accounts is staggering and irregular, with a massive amount of accounts listening to Drake's music doing so 23 hours a day. So these
Yo, remember who said that? They said, listen to Drake all night, all day and all night. Even when you sleep, play him. Because we want to get him to number one. There's people that was actually doing that. That's crazy. There was people who was actually doing that. It was actually doing that. That's crazy. That's crazy as hell. That's crazy, man.
bots are listening to these songs all day. Less than 2% of these users, the lawsuit goes on to claim, account for roughly 15% of Drake's streams, and about 9% of Drake's streams are attributable to less than 1% of these users. Bruh. Wow. 15%? As a result, the complaint claims Drake's music accumulated far higher total streams compared to other highly streamed artists, even though those artists had far more users than Drake. So it's not even just Kendrick. It's been a lot of artists that's probably been getting more organic streams than Drake. And that's been everybody's whole argument about Drake is the streams. The lawsuit does not state how the plaintiffs or their lawyers obtained this data, nor does it shed any light on how the analysis of Drake's streaming numbers was conducted. These allegedly fraudulent streams generated significant revenues for Drake and his company Frozen Moments at the expense of other artists, the lawsuit claims. But it also states that Spotify deliberately turns a blind eye to fraudulent streaming for its own benefit. Oh my goodness.
Now, I will say this. You don't really know if Spotify turned a blind eye. That's speculation. They would have to, for them to prove, they would have to prove that they turned a blind eye. They would have to prove that. It can't be, that's, to me, that's something that you would say, Spotify turned a blind eye because a top Spotify executive was caught reading this and he said, we're not going to do nothing about this. That would be that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's very difficult to know that Spotify turned a blind eye. You know what I'm saying? To this. It would have to be, you would have to prove that they did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take. I could be wrong about that. I definitely could be wrong about it, but I think I got OCD, man. I dropped something. I gotta find it right in the middle of this. I could just wait.
Oh my goodness. So we got a lot to talk about. We got so much to talk about in these upcoming videos, bro. But I'm shooting this really late, so I'll shoot those videos earlier in the day tomorrow. But we got a lot to talk about, bro. Because a lot of stuff is making sense. But you telling me that Spotify, it all makes sense, was allowing Drake to do this for their own benefit. And I'm assuming that they're about to tell us what that benefit is. While Spotify has taken steps in recent years to combat and tamp down streaming fraud, the lawsuit casts doubt on the efficacy of these measures and Spotify's own incentives to stop fraud. It suggests that Spotify is particularly vulnerable to bots on the platform's ad-supported free tier because a myriad accounts can be generated without handing over a credit card number. By allegedly allowing bots to run rampant, Spotify can present high stream and user activity numbers to potential advertisers, the lawsuit alleges. This is crazy.
Well, again, that's really not Spotify's fault, in my opinion, because most people in these other countries, let's be clear, they don't have credit cards. They don't have debit cards. So for them to get access to Spotify's unpaid service, they can do that. Now, it's a gift and a curse that comes with that. You will get bots, but you also get people who are organic. I think a lot of people don't understand that part, the dynamic of it. It's just, oh yeah, they just blame Spotify for having all these bots, but Spotify, I don't think deliberately. Let's just say, if Spotify turned a blind eye, it's because, in my opinion, it's because they have to take the gift with the curse. Because you can't say you have to get an account with Spotify, and we're global, where most of these countries, people don't have debit cards or credit cards. How are they going to get Spotify if they say you require to have that? That same thing happened with Apple, with the iPhone. The App Store at one point was requiring you to have a debit card or a credit card. You couldn't get into the App Store without it. And then eventually they figured that, well, it's a lot of people who don't have that or just don't want to have it. So they made it to where you can download stuff. And then when you want, you can download free apps. But when you want to pay, you would download a pay app, you have to put the credit card or debit card in there. So I can understand why this happened. Now, it's not Spotify's fault. In my opinion, it's not Spotify's fault that they have all of these different bots. And the crazy thing is, maybe they did that on purpose, right? Let's just say, I'm just gonna go with the argument. Maybe Spotify did do it on purpose to generate revenue, as far as not revenue, but generate people to come to their site. And afterwards, they ended up saying, you know what, now we gotta get rid of these bots. That could be a case. I don't know. I'm just saying, I can't really fully blame Spotify when you are a global company and most people in these other countries don't have debit cards. Not to say people are poor. Just understand, I'm not saying that. Not to say people or they can't afford nothing. I'm just saying that most people don't have debit cards. Where I'm at right now, one of my friends, he don't even know what a debit card is. Just being honest. So
This is crazy. We about to get into some interesting times, bro, in this industry. For sure. Like, for Spotify, more users and music streams means more advertising dollars, so long as the true origin of the streams remains hidden, the lawsuit states. Wow. Spotify also loses money in the form of royalty payouts whenever fraudulent streaming occurs. Bro. So when that happens, they're making more advertising dollars. Artists across the streaming industry need accurate reporting of streams and effective fraud detection to ensure fair compensation. When streams are artificially inflated on a large scale, as my client's lawsuit alleges has happened with respect to streams of Drake's music, it affects the income of countless songwriters, performers, and producers. Bruh. Mark Piefko, one of the lawyers with Barron and Bud who filed the lawsuit on behalf of RBX, tells Rolling Stone. The lawsuit seeks to address these broader issues, recoup losses for affected musicians, and make the streaming ecosystem as fair and transparent as possible for everyone involved. Oh my goodness. This is interesting. And once again, when these bot farms are allowed to run, apparently affects the ecosystem for songwriters, performers, and producers. And that makes a lot of sense. The new lawsuit and the
I told y'all a long time ago. I got a whole episode years ago about bot streaming farms. I told y'all it wasn't called botting, it was called streaming farms. I told y'all years ago about this. I said, bro, they literally have farms like in certain parts of the United States where they have thousands and thousands of phones streaming songs. I'm talking like in a big warehouse, thousands of phones with fake accounts streaming. You know what I mean?
claims regarding Drake's music notably come just weeks after a judge tossed Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group, which contained its own allegations of streaming fraud. Though technically a defamation case, Drake accused his own record label, UMG, of artificially inflating the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us, marking arguably the most high profile allegation of streaming fraud to date. Wow. UMG denied all Drake's allegations and the streamer fraud claims specifically, writing in March filing, there is no evidence of any such stream manipulation. Bro, so the crazy thing is, UMG could very well be botting other people, but them saying there's no evidence of the stream manipulation for Kendrick Lamar or even other artists might just be, and I feel like there's got to be a portion of bot streams on any song because songs that get that big, even people who are running their own like bot playlists where they got these songs of all this different stuff, that like those type of things can happen too, right? So there's got to be bot streams to all of these major songs, but I think it gets really crazy when you can tell when somebody's doing it in a malicious way because of these type of numbers, like 35 billion streams. That's crazy. Kendrick streams might majority, right? And I say might majority because who knows, it might not be bots on them shits, but might majority be real streams. And it would make sense why when Kendrick performs at the level he's performing at, you see the actual influence worldwide versus Drake is supposed to appear as this and isn't really delivering that. It makes sense why Drake has all these streams but never did a stadium tour.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. As far as Spotify, I mean, as far as UMG goes, UMG probably is under the impression that, well, we're not Spotify. There's no evidence that we actually stream because I think they were saying like there's no evidence that we actually botted the songs. That's what they're saying. Not that bots didn't exist through all the other streaming sites. They're saying that well, there's no evidence of us doing that. You know what I mean? Like we don't do that. There's no evidence to us. And I'll be honest with y'all, I kind of believe UMG. And the reason why is because number one, I can bot a song if I wanted to right now. I can bot a song and I can use promotional tools that can actually promote somebody without them even knowing. I could literally put $500 on a website and put the link to the song and they will bot that song. Like for real. Anybody can do it. You can do it. Your grandmother can do it after she finished cutting her toenails. She could do it. You know? Anybody could do it. It's not just, it's an open market for anybody to do it. It's an artist that they like, they could put money behind them. That's just what it is. So a lot of times, and this to be fair, a lot of times these artists don't even know that that's being done. They really don't. So
This is okay. This is all making a lot of sense. The new lawsuit and it claims Streaming fraud has been a topic of discussion in the industry for years. While pinpointing just how rampant it is and calculating corresponding losses is difficult, most estimates hover in the range of hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. A 2019 Rolling Stone report noted that fake streams could be costing artists 300 million a year. A 2023 study in France found that between 1 and 3% of all streams in the country were fake. If those numbers held true globally, that would mean royalty losses up to 510 million. Last year, BedTap, a streaming fraud detection program, estimated that at least 10% of all streams are fraudulent, leading to annual losses of 2 to 3 billion. Oh my goodness, it makes sense what's going on, bruh.
12 p.m.
Bruh, there's so much clarity to so many different things by just reading this now. Efforts to crack down on streaming fraud have ramped up around the world. A Danish man was convicted last year, while another individual was arrested in Brazil back in March. Over the summer, officials in Turkey, where the lawsuit says some of the allegedly fraudulent Drake streams originated, started investigating Spotify over several allegations, including bribes for playlist placement and bot streams distorting domestic charts. All the way up to messing up the charts, bruh. This is crazy. A rep for Spotify told Music Business Worldwide at the time that they are cooperating with the investigation, are actively seeking to understand it, and will work toward a swift, constructive resolution with the Turkish Competition Authority. In the U.S., federal prosecutors brought an unprecedented streaming fraud indictment last September against a North Carolina musician named Michael Smith. Smith is accused of using artificial intelligence to generate hundreds of thousands of songs, which he then allegedly streamed with bots. The feds claim that at one point, Smith had as many as 10,000 active bot accounts streaming his music, and allegedly made over 10 million from this scheme. Bruh.
There's really nothing that anybody could do about that. I can't fully blame Spotify for that because it goes back to the credit card thing. If you want most people on your platform to stream, all they need is the email, and that's it. Anybody can make a fake email. Anybody, like, it's so deep that people don't understand. You can make an email, but most people don't want to put their real name in there. So you got to use a fake name, or I didn't say fake name. You just use an alternative name. Some people make different type of emails. Make an email. Once you make this email, you put it on Spotify. Most people don't want their information out. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like anything can happen. I get scammed. I just got a scam text just now. Like, I'll show y'all. Like, real. Like, I'm not even kidding y'all. Like, like literally just got one. I don't even know who this person is. I have no clue, right? I have no clue. If y'all can see that. Screen too bright. Screen bright as hell. Let me see if it works now. All right, so look. I don't know if y'all can see that, right? See that? I don't know. I'm gonna hide the number. Are you at work? I don't even know who this person is. I have no clue. They're not in my phone or nothing. And the person is asking me, am I at work? So this is what I'm gonna do. See that? I'm teaching y'all something today. Look at that. Boom. Gone. Report. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm snitching on the scammers. Trying to scam me. Niggas get mad. Man, you snitching, bro? They tried to take everything from me. Bro. Can't be snitching. Let's let them take it. Don't snitch. Yeah. But anyway. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so you got to understand how this works. This whole thing works. People don't really want their information out there. A lot of people. And again, I'm not trying to absolve Spotify or any of these companies of wrongdoing. I'm just saying it's a lot of fraudulent activity going out there. There's frauds there's frauds competing with the frauds. There's fakes competing with the fakes to see who they can outfake the most to get the most money out of it. They can trick the system. They will do it. That's just what it is.
Bruh. Drake filed his first legal claims over Not Like Us just 2 months after Smith was arrested and indicted. Interesting. And the official defamation suit was brought in January of this year. The streaming fraud allegations against UMG were based on statements from a purported anonymous whistleblower who appeared on the show by DJ Academics, which that was the popular streamer and long-time Drake associate. As stated in Drake's lawsuit, the whistleblower claimed that Lamar's label Interscope paid him $2,500 via third parties to use bots to achieve 30 million streams on Spotify in the initial days following the release of Not Like Us. Yeah, and I remember that stream.
They actually got that wrong. I believe he said it was 30,000, not 30 million. I don't think that he streamed 30 million streams. I don't believe that. The boy Epic, I think that's his name. Or 30 million? No, I don't think that that's the case. There's no way in the world they would let that go slide by that fast. I think that was wrong. Let me see. Where's he at? 2,500. He said a third party to use bots to achieve. Okay, so it was to achieve 30 million, but it wasn't. He didn't. I think the boy Epic didn't say 30 million. I think he said 30,000 or something like that, or 10,000. He said it's gonna go crazy, the song or whatever. But it wasn't no 30 million. Like, come on, bro. Like 30 million for $2,500. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna end it here because this joint is long as hell. We're gonna end it here, and make sure y'all watch the rest of it on his page. All right, man. Shout out to everybody that pulled up, man. This is very interesting. We'll see what happens. We're gonna keep an eye on this one. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one. I am out of here. See y'all. Peace. Bye.